I don't control that.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me shut down. Okay, we're going to reach the next phase of the trial. I'm going to do a little bit of an explanation about what goes on in the next phase. It's getting close to the lunch hour, and I don't think you really, Mrs. Zion, I don't think you want to call a witness for 10 minutes. Do you want to call a witness for 10 minutes? What I was thinking about doing is me doing the explanation of evidence and stuff, and then starting back at 1 o'clock.
I think that perhaps we'd all be a little fresher after a break to start evidence if we're going to do 10 minutes of admonishments and whatnot. So.
Okay, fair enough then. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's talk about it. You heard all about evidence and voir dire, the cherry pies theory, and that talked about one concept of evidence. I'm going to try to do years with the law school here pretty quick, okay? When they talk about direct and indirect evidence, that's how it's acquired and what you do with it, okay? Evidence can come in all different formats. There are photographs, there are records, there's live testimony. Okay, all these can be deduced for you so that you can evaluate that part of the evidence. When they were talking about the cherry pie, that's how you interpret the evidence. Direct evidence is what we see or hear. We use our senses to acquire. I felt a hot stove would be direct evidence. Okay? The indirect evidence, the cherry pie scenario where you heard about, you know, you come in, there's crumbs on the face, and, you know, the missing piece of pie. That's circumstantial evidence. It has equal value with direct evidence, and you can make any inference you want off of the direct evidence. You cannot make an inference upon an inference. Just because it looks like the cherry pie was eaten, you can't assume that he also had a glass of milk. Does that make sense so far? Okay? Now, throughout the process, you'll see exhibits. We'll be doing some foundations, and we're going to be dealing with some experts. So let me take a little bit of time about experts. Generally, one can't give an opinion unless they have some special training. Okay? That special training can be in all kinds of areas. Okay? And it's the lawyer's obligation to present to you what their credentials are. We talked about the CV and voir dire. That's their resume, okay? These are all types of things that you will see. Now, with any eyewitness or any witness on the stand, you evaluate their credibility. Now, you use the skills you use in your daily lives. You know, the way they testify, frankness thereof, their ability to perceive the facts. These are all things that I will tell you you can consider. Okay, with an expert, you can also consider their credentials, certification, experience. All those issues can be taken into consideration, and you as a jury will determine what value, if any, to give to those witnesses. Does that seem pretty straight up? I'm trying to do a year worth of law school here pretty quick, okay? Okay, now, in the process, there'll be objections. Some I'll rule on right away, some will go on the sidebar, okay? You're not to take any inference, and you listen to whatever instructions I say. If I say continue on with the questioning, then you can consider it. If I tell you to disregard, then you have to act like you never heard it. Okay? That's one of the gives and takes here. Does that make sense? Okay. I think that's pretty much good enough for right now. Periodically, if something comes up during the trial, I'll give you further explanations. Now, what I would like to do is break you early for lunch and start back at 1. Okay? Does that make sense? Because, 10 minutes of a witness, that just kind of just things, and I think poor Sam over here needs a break. I do look out after her. Okay? So we're going to continue back at 1 o'clock. Okay. Anything more before I excuse them?
Connor, just briefly, I think we agreed a 3:30 dismissal because of a birthday today. Which
we have a birthday today. We're not going to sing happy birthday.
Right, but we will internally.
Yes. we will be festive with our festivities, even though they got to sleep in. Okay. Sorry, inside joke. Ladies and gentlemen, remember my admonitions I gave you earlier. They're going to be standard throughout. You're not to discuss the case. You're not to do your own investigation. You're to disregard the press, and the lawyers are going to avoid you. Okay? With that,
All right.
have a wonderful lunch. We'll get started at 1 o'clock. Since some people want to go home early. I don't know who that might be.
Judge, we'll have some housekeeping issues.
We have a couple things to discuss. Have a wonderful break, guys.